In the ever-evolving landscape of U.S. Mexico relations, the ongoing political drama between former President Donald Trump and current Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum continues to unfold. A critical point of contention has been the issue of tariffs, with Trump once again making a series of threats against Mexico and its trade policies. These threats have sparked a vigorous response from Sheinbaum, who has effectively countered Trump's claims and called out his repeated falsehoods. In this video, we delve into the dramatic exchange between Trump and Sheinbaum, exploring the political maneuvering, the economic implications, and the power dynamics at play. Trump's threats of a blanket tariff on Mexico and his misleading claims about a phone call with Sheinbaum have dominated headlines, but it is Sheinbaum's steadfast defense of Mexico's sovereignty, her sharp rebuttals, and her unwavering stance on national dignity that truly set this battle apart. The crux of the situation lies in Trump's ongoing obsession with trade deals and immigration, often using social media to make bold claims and announcements. But Mexico's president has proven time and again that she is prepared to take a stand and fight back. This confrontation raises larger questions about the consequences of trade policies, the integrity of international negotiations, and the strategic posturing of global leaders. As Sheinbaum faces down Trump's attempts to rewrite history and manipulate facts, she brings clarity to the ongoing struggle for justice and respect on the world stage. Let's unpack the sequence of events that led to this powerful confrontation and how Sheinbaum exposed Trump's lies in front of the world. The threat of tariffs, Trump's latest move. It all began when former President Donald Trump took to social media with yet another high-profile threat aimed at Mexico. This time, Trump declared that he was prepared to impose a blanket tariff of 25% on goods from Mexico. His justification for this drastic move? The belief that Mexico was not doing enough to curb migration and stop the flow of illegal drugs, particularly fentanyl, into the United States. This statement was made in the context of Trump's broader rhetoric around immigration and drug control, themes that have been central to his political identity. For Trump, Mexico has long been a scapegoat for the problems surrounding U.S. immigration and drug policy, often painting the country in a negative light despite a shared commitment between the U.S. and Mexico to address these issues. However, this threat of tariffs was more than just a hollow political gesture. Tariffs of such magnitude would have devastating effects on the Mexican economy and potentially harm U.S. consumers as well, given the interconnectedness of the two nations' economies. This issue was not only about politics, it was a matter of economic survival for both countries, and President Sheinbaum was quick to respond. Claudia Sheinbaum strikes back, a rejection of Trump's lies. Claudia Sheinbaum, the newly elected president of Mexico, wasted no time in responding to Trump's tariff threats. She issued a public statement that was both direct and forceful, laying out the facts in clear terms. In her response, Sheinbaum rejected Trump's false narratives and emphasized the importance of diplomacy, cooperation, and mutual respect between neighboring countries. Sheinbaum pointed out that Mexico had already taken significant steps to address the migration issue. Under her leadership and in collaboration with President Joe Biden's administration, Mexico had been working diligently to manage migration flows, ensuring that migrants were provided with assistance and humane treatment before they reached the U.S. southern border. She noted that the large caravans of migrants that Trump frequently referred to were no longer a significant issue, as Mexico had implemented strategies to address the root causes of migration, such as poverty, violence, and corruption in Central America. Sheinbaum's letter to Trump, following his initial threats, underscored the importance of a comprehensive approach to migration, one that focused on human rights, international cooperation, and long-term solutions, rather than relying on punitive measures like tariffs. She made it clear that Mexico would not be bullied by Trump's rhetoric, and that any effort to punish Mexico through tariffs would only harm American businesses and consumers in the end. In a direct confrontation with Trump's false claims about Mexico's role in the drug trade, Sheinbaum also clarified the facts. She pointed out that Mexico was not the primary consumer of synthetic drugs like fentanyl, America was. The majority of the fentanyl entering the U.S. was being trafficked by Americans or coming from other countries, particularly China. Sheinbaum's firm stance on this issue demonstrated her commitment to protecting Mexico's sovereignty while also addressing the real problems facing both nations. The phone call, Trump's distorted narrative. After the public exchange of letters and statements, the next twist in this saga occurred when Trump claimed to have had a phone call with Sheinbaum in which they supposedly reached an agreement. According to Trump, the conversation resulted in a victory for the U.S. He posted on social media, boasting that Sheinbaum had agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing the southern border. Trump also claimed that they discussed measures to curb the flow of drugs into the U.S. and that Mexico would immediately stop people from reaching the southern border. He painted the conversation as a major diplomatic win for the U.S., with the situation now resolved. However, Sheinbaum quickly responded, claiming that Trump's version of events was completely inaccurate. In a social media post of her own, Sheinbaum clarified that the conversation with Trump had not resulted in any major new agreements. Instead, she reiterated Mexico's long-standing position. The country would not close its borders, but would continue to work on building bridges between governments and peoples, based on mutual respect and cooperation. She explained that Mexico's strategy had always been to address migration in a comprehensive and humane manner, emphasizing human rights and providing assistance to migrants before they reach the border. Sheinbaum was quick to call out Trump's attempt to take credit for something that had already been happening under the Biden administration and her own leadership. In fact, the drop in border crossings had been largely the result of the policies already in place, not some miraculous breakthrough from a phone call with Trump. The role of misinformation, Elon Musk and social media. In the age of social media, misinformation spreads quickly, and Donald Trump has long used platforms like Twitter, now X, to amplify his own narratives. This time, the misinformation campaign was aided by billionaire tech mogul Elon Musk, who took to Twitter to spread Trump's distorted account of the phone call with Sheinbaum. Musk, who's been known for his political inclinations and willingness to support Trump, shared a post that falsely claimed Sheinbaum had only taken action after Trump's tariff threats. He further amplified this misinformation by quoting an account that often spreads lies about political events. This disinformation campaign, fueled by Musk's influence, added fuel to the fire of the ongoing narrative, even as Sheinbaum publicly exposed the truth. This moment highlighted the dangerous role that powerful individuals can play in shaping political discourse and spreading falsehoods. Musk's actions, while not unusual for him, served as a reminder of the need for vigilance in combating misinformation, especially when it can have real-world consequences on international relations. The consequences of Trump's tariff threats. Beyond the political theater, the real consequences of Trump's tariff threats cannot be ignored. The imposition of tariffs on Mexico would breach the very trade deal that Trump himself negotiated, what he called the U.S. Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, which replaced the previous NAFTA agreement. This deal, signed with great fanfare by Trump, was meant to strengthen trade relations between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. By threatening to impose tariffs, Trump would effectively be undermining the very deal he had touted as a major achievement of his presidency. This creates a paradox. Trump's administration negotiated the deal, but now, in a fit of anger and political posturing, he was willing to unravel it. This move not only jeopardized the economic stability of both Mexico and the U.S., but also threatened to damage the relationship between the two countries, which had been steadily improving under the Biden administration. For Mexico, the impact of such tariffs would be severe, particularly for industries such as automotive manufacturing, where U.S. companies have substantial operations in Mexico. Sheinbaum's response was a warning to the U.S. that Mexico would not simply sit idly by and accept economic punishment for something it had no responsibility for. The Biden administration's response. As the situation escalated, President Joe Biden and his administration were forced to weigh in on the matter. Biden, a staunch ally of Mexico, made it clear that he did not support Trump's tariff threats. In public statements, Biden referred to Mexico and Canada as vital allies of the U.S., emphasizing the importance of maintaining strong, cooperative relationships with these neighboring countries. He called Trump's tariff plan counterproductive and urged the former president to reconsider his position. Biden's position was significant because it highlighted the contrast between his administration's approach to diplomacy and Trump's more confrontational style. While Trump often saw foreign relations as a zero-sum game, where the U.S. could only win by forcing other countries into submission, Biden's approach focused on collaboration, mutual respect, and working together to address shared challenges. The Mexican response, standing tall in the face of threats. Through all of these developments, one thing became clear. Claudia Sheinbaum was not going to back down. As President of Mexico, she was determined to protect her country's dignity and sovereignty, standing firm in the face of Trump's bluster and misinformation. Sheinbaum's handling of the situation showed a leader who is not only capable of navigating the